November 1, 1955. A routine flight, United Airlines Flight 629, prepared for its journey from Denver to Portland and Seattle. 44 souls, passengers, from a 13-month-old baby to an 81-year-old man and crew, were settling in for the trip. But unbeknownst to any of them, a deadly device was ticking away in the cargo hold, a device planted by a man driven by greed and a twisted sense of revenge against his own mother. This wasn't an accident. It was a calculated act of mass murder that would change air travel security forever. Before we dive into the chilling details of this case, take a moment to remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe to the Calendar of Crime so you don't miss future episodes of true crime history. At 6:52 p.m., the Douglas DC-6B, nicknamed Mainliner Denver, took off from Stapleton Airfield. Just 11 minutes later, at 7:03 p.m., the sky over Weld County, Colorado, lit up. Air traffic controllers saw two bright lights fall to the ground, followed by a brilliant flash. On the ground, witnesses heard an explosion that sounded like a big bomb. The aircraft had disintegrated in midair, scattering debris across 6 square miles. All 44 people aboard were killed instantly. The sheer magnitude of the destruction immediately suggested sabotage. The Civil Aeronautics Board, CAB investigation, aided by the FBI, began the painstaking process of piecing together the wreckage. The debris field was massive, but the evidence was clear. The tail section, or empennage, had been shattered by an intense external force. Investigators found pieces of sheet metal contaminated with the chemical byproducts of a dynamite explosion, tracing the blast to the number 4 baggage compartment. This was a bomb. The FBI shifted focus from mechanical failure to murder, performing background checks on all passengers. The focus quickly narrowed to one passenger, Daisy Eldora King, a Denver businesswoman traveling to Alaska. Just before boarding, she had purchased life insurance policies. More crucially, her son, John Gilbert Graham, was the beneficiary of these policies and her will. Graham, who harbored a deep resentment towards his mother for placing him in an orphanage as a child, had a history of suspicious incidents, including a restaurant explosion from which he collected insurance. The motive was clear: greed and revenge. A search of Graham's home and car yielded damning evidence: wire and bomb-making components matching fragments found in the wreckage. The final piece of the puzzle came from his wife, who contradicted Graham's claim that his mother had packed her own suitcase, revealing that Graham himself had wrapped a present for his mother that morning. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, on November 13, 1955, Graham confessed. He described how he had wrapped dynamite sticks with binding cord and used 2 blasting caps to ensure the bomb would detonate, placing it in his mother's luggage. In a shocking twist, authorities realized there was no federal law against bombing a commercial aircraft. To secure a conviction, Graham was charged with a single count of first-degree murder, the murder of his mother, Daisy King. The trial was the first in Colorado to be televised. Despite his defense's efforts, the physical evidence was insurmountable. John Gilbert Graham was convicted, and just over a year later, executed in the gas chamber on January 11, 1957. The tragedy led directly to a new federal law, signed by President Eisenhower in 1956, finally making the intentional bombing of a commercial airliner a federal crime, a grim but necessary legacy of Flight 629. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.